Hey guys, Matthew Marr with MorrowInvest.com. It's such a absolutely gorgeous Sunday. I'm literally just sitting in my truck at the park. It's beautiful out here. So I just want to go over fourth quarter. Today's October 1st, 2017. So we are moving into the last quarter of the year. And this could be your absolute best knock it out of the park quarter, or it could be your worst quarter. It depends on what type of industry you're in and how many streams of income you've got started. Now, some of you guys are just getting started, so you still have your regular job, and so for a lot of people, especially people that work for, some company, this is no different than any other time. In fact, a lot of the times, starting about the second week of November through December, that last 6-8 weeks of the year, people take their vacations, they take their built-up off time, especially if their off time, accumulates but doesn't go to the following year, they have to use it towards the end of the year or they lose it. And so a lot of you guys, this is just any given time. But for any of you guys that are starting your business, have owned a business, this is either the best time or the worst time. So let's go through this a little bit, and I want to talk about why this is and what we can do to combat it, okay? Hope you guys are having an awesome Sunday. I went to church this morning and had a great lesson on being happy. In fact, I'll post this probably Wednesday when the feed is live at the church where Buddy's sermons are online, but about being happy, the path to being happiness, and it basically says that the top 5 myths about being happy are that you'll be happy when you have possessions, when you're in control of your life, when you're able to do whatever it is you want to do, when life is fair, and when you have enough fun events to keep yourself busy. All of those are myths, they're not true. And of course, happiness is a byproduct of a meaningful life lived in God's favor. And I couldn't say it better myself, but he does a great job, and so I'll share that probably Wednesday on Instagram. But so why is this the best and the worst times? A couple of things are happening. If you're in the retail business, this is a great time, man. This is the time because people are buying stuff, right? So they're buying gifts for you got Halloween, and you got fall has started, and so you've got fall parties, decorations, Halloween. In fact, my grandparents were married on Halloween, not because they were big into Halloween, but that just happened to be the most convenient date. That was back when they were born in like 1908, so that was, you just got married when you could financially, so that's why they got married on that date. So then you got November, you got Thanksgiving, right? If you drive by depending on where you are in the country, here we have the Honey Baked Ham store, and that store is packed from the beginning of November on, right? And in my mom's catering business, we used to start selling about that second week of November. Actually, in the first week of November, we would start selling my grandmother's Christmas menu. So that was green bean casserole, squash casserole, my grandmother's famous dressing, fried chicken, ham, turkey, tenderloins, croissants, I mean, you name it, pecan pie, cheesecake, all that stuff, rebel pie. And so by the time Christmas came around, we had literally eaten that meal every day for 2 months. So we were sick of that meal. Even though it was amazing, now I long for that meal because my grandmother is an amazing cook, right? But so we were really, really busy, and then on into Christmas, of course, people doing Christmas parties, and it seems in December, people are, a lot of people are trying harder to take care of the widows and the orphans, and they're thinking more about the homeless, and they're thinking more about shut-ins and family, and so December is a good time. But if you're single like I am, or divorced, and or your parents are divorced, and you have to split Christmas between families and all, it can be very, very difficult. It can be a rough time, and actually not to be a downer, but suicide rates are normally higher at the first of the year because they've had all this family and attention in the December, and then they get into the following year, and it just they don't have all that attention anymore, and it stucks. So if that's you, reach out to me. We'll make sure to try to find you some counseling or help or groups you can be a part of. But I digress. So quarter number 4, couple of things. If you are not reaching your goals, so we set goals regularly, and I try to tell you guys to make them incremental and small. So you've got big picture goals, and then you've got small goals. So big picture goals would be like, I want to get a degree, or I want to have this particular company, or I want to make $1 million, or I want to lose 100 pounds, or whatever, right? Your daily incremental goals, we're going to divide that out. So remember, I've said, if you want to make $50,000 a year and you're going to work 50 weeks, 5 days a week, you're going to make $200 a day. So $200 a day is what I've got to make today. That's today's small bite-sized goal. Today my goal is to only eat 1,200 calories, right? But my bigger goal is to lose 100 pounds. But you have to be able to have those bite-sized goals. So this is a really great time. You need to be doing this annually, every quarter, weekly. You need to have your goals and have some real honest, we call it come to Jesus meeting with yourself. Just say, am I achieving my goals? Now, did you not achieve your goals because we had a 9/11, or we had a crazy interest hike, or a terrorist attack, or whatever, right? Is that what happened? Or is it that you didn't buckle down and get your goals accomplished, right? So sometimes it'll be outside things, and that happens, things that are out of your control, and you just have to roll with the punches. So, your place burned down, you got divorced, you got married, you had a child, you broke a leg. All those life things you can't change. So you have to just learn to roll with life, because life's not fair. Remember, right here on Buddy's sermon outline this morning, I'll be happy when life is fair. Well, that's a myth. Life's never fair. Life's never going to be fair, and so you have to learn to roll with the punches. So, I am sympathetic to those things. I just did a 4-part video in the Private Investors Group, and the only reason I say that, because if you're here watching this, you already know, but I'm probably going to release this video public just so that people can see kind of the things that we talk about. So I just released a 4-part series on one of my businesses, how I started it, how we grew it, how I eventually sold it. We talked about good times, bad times. I had multiple wrecks, multiple injuries, multiple surgeries, multiple setbacks, and yet I was still successful, and actually still reap the rewards of that business. But it was not easy by any means, right? And life's not fair, and you can either moan and complain and whine and grow bitter about those things, or you can let them have a life of their own. That was yesterday. Today is a new day. I'm going to do whatever. I can't control yesterday. I can't change yesterday, but I can do whatever I can do today, right? So you could be spending this afternoon sleeping. You could be catching up and marathoning your favorite TV show. You could be cuddling with a loved one, someone you love, right? Those things are all important and have their place. But for a season, if you are not willing to buckle down and knock out some goals, you are never going to be successful, right? Do you think LeBron James or Michael Jordan or any of those guys, did they do work in the off season, or did they just do nothing? No, those guys we know their names because good times and bad, they were working and hustling to make their dreams a reality, right? Now, I'm not saying that just because you work hard, you're going to be successful. That's not necessarily true. But you want to give yourself the greatest opportunity to be successful, and you're going to do that by, there's a quote that I don't remember who it's from, but it says, the harder I work, the luckier I get. So the more time you're going to put in sharpening your tools, adding tools to your tool belt, the more successful you're going to be. Okay, so as we enter quarter number 4, fourth quarter of the year, this is, if you watch football games, a lot of those guys, Alabama, that fourth quarter, they raise their hand and they're like, fourth quarter, right? Why do they do that? Because Alabama, as a football team, if you ever go and watch any of their, I'm an Auburn fan, right? So I'm an Auburn fan. But Alabama, there's no denying Coach Saban's system. And part of his system is just do your best on every single play. I don't care about talent. He does. But I care about your effort. And you give me 100% of your effort every single play. Let the play have a life of its own. And the next play, do it right. And that's why if you ever see in the fourth quarter, they could be up 3 or 4 touchdowns and some player miss a tackle or do something stupid or out of character, and the coach will chew them out from top to bottom. They won't even show them on the camera, right? I don't know how much the University of Alabama is paying ESPN and all these guys to not actually video Saban anymore, but they do, okay? They don't videotape him. If something goes bad, that camera goes and turns off of him because he is going to tear those guys up. And it's in a good way. It is they're letting off the gas, and he doesn't want them to let off the gas, not because he wants to beat down the other players or run up the score. It's not about them. It's about you doing your best, and that's what he wants every single play. And if you can take those type of lessons and apply them to your business life, I'm not in competition with other people. If you make $1 million, I'm completely happy for you. Invite me to your house, all right? We'll go on a trip together. I'm pumped for you. I'm excited for you. But I'm in competition with me. So I have my own goals, my own agenda, and my own things that I'm trying to accomplish, right? Now, part of my goals, and hopefully this is good for you guys, is that I want to mentor and teach and grow other individuals. And so I believe that I've been blessed with the ability to teach and the ability to hopefully inspire some of you. It might not be all of you. Some of you, just because I have a southern accent, you might not listen to me. Some of you because I'm an Auburn fan and not an Alabama fan. Some of you because I'm a man and not a woman. Some of you because I'm white and not another race. You're not listening, right? But you know what? And I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm saying even Jesus was not accepted in his own hometown. Don't you remember? If you go back and read in the Gospels, they're like, who is this guy? Isn't this Jesus of Nazareth? Like, isn't this the guy? What good can come from Nazareth? Like, isn't he the carpenter's son? Isn't that, they didn't even give him any credit, and here he was, the Son of God, walking on land, right? Now, I'm obviously not Jesus, nor am I in any way comparing myself to Jesus. I'm just saying that the goal is to hopefully motivate and inspire you guys to do more than you are doing, okay? And I am all about rewarding and being excited about people when they achieve their goals. And if you want my honest criticism, I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm trying to use it as a teachable moment so that you can learn and grow and be better, okay? So why is this the worst quarter for some of you guys? Well, say you have rental properties, and if you guys have just gotten your first rental property or getting rental properties, you should go on and expect that your rent is going to be late in December or not be paid at all. Now, why is this? Because we as Americans, our entire economy is based on debt, right? And what happens every December? I'll let you think about it. Christmas! Oh, Christmas is here! We totally forgot it was Christmas. People forget it's Christmas. Now, if you were on a budget, like I'm telling you to be on, and Dave Ramsey tells you to be on, and all these guys that are successful tell you to be on, if you're on a budget, you could easily budget $100, $25 a week. Can you do $25 a week? Is there $25 somewhere in your budget? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. So $25 a week, that's $100 a month. It's actually a little more than that. You end up the year with $1,200. Well, that's a great December, right? How would you like to spend $1,200 on your family for Christmas, whether it be gifts or a trip or whatever, right? Well, what do people do? That's not what they do. November comes and they're like, oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about Christmas. How did Christmas get here already? It's December. Oh my gosh. And then they have Black Friday, right? Right after Thanksgiving, they have the big sale and you see all the crazy people getting trampled. Rich people aren't there. Rich people are not worried about getting that discount. When do rich people really shop? They're going to either have already bought it because it's something they wanted and they just went and bought and paid full price, or more likely, they're going to wait till after all the Christmas season is done and they're going to buy it in January at a steal. That's when they're going to buy it. They're going to get 50% off, right? When do investors buy their Halloween candy? Day after Halloween. When do they buy the Valentine's candy? Day after Valentine's. Are you getting me here? Right? They get 50% off, right? So some of you guys are not going to pay rent, and just what happens is people, Christmas surprises them and it's, catches up with them, and all of a sudden it's Christmas time and people have not budgeted themselves, and so at the end of the year comes and so they don't have any money. So they put the money on a credit card or on layaway, or they borrow the money, or they go and hawk their title to their car or something. And then they spend the rest of the year paying that debt off, and that debt pays off about September, October, and it's time to do it again, right? And they just stay in that cycle that there's always this debt that they're paying on, right? Encourage you guys not to be one of those people and not to do that. Okay, so some of you guys with your first-time rental properties, you're not going to get paid. Okay, so you need to hopefully not be relying completely on that rental income as your main income, unless you're a full-time investor and you have enough rentals to do that. You need to expect that there's going to be late. People are going to be late on their rent. Also, if you are a lot of people, it's hard if you're trying to sell your services. Now, I'm not talking about retail. If you're selling t-shirts or some type of good or some type of craft or art or whatever, you're on the retail side, that's great. December should be wonderful for you because you can sell and sell and sell, and it should all be gravy, right? It'll all be good. But if you're trying to sell a service, like I used to be a financial advisor, so we're selling Roth IRAs and mutual funds and annuities and life insurance, disability, cancer, all that kind of stuff, that is a hard sell, right? That is a hard sell because it's basically people push cruise control right as October gets there. And if you are a person like I was trying to get companies to do benefit packages, it's a nightmare because everybody's gone. You need to you need to have the vice president's approval. Well, he's gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks on a vacation, right? And so you can't get everybody in a room at the same time, other than maybe their Christmas party, right? And of course, they don't want to do business then. So if you're not on the retail side, retail side you're great, but if you're on the services side, it is not a time. October, that last fourth quarter, is normally not a time to start new projects. Okay, so new projects are going to start. In fact, you'll notice, I want you to watch, and we'll mention this again when we do our next one for next quarter. As January, February, as soon as March hits, bam, you will see more for sale signs for realtors. They will be everywhere, right? Because they want to catch that spring. So as soon as spring hits and the sun starts coming out more, it starts warming up a little bit, that's when all your open houses and, spring cleaning and all that stuff, spring brings life. And so people have been, stuck in their house for 2 months, 3 months, and they're ready to go out. And so spring is normally a good time for growth. And you'll see projects of all kinds of different types of construction and business starting, and that's when they want to start. Very rarely do you see businesses that are like, I think I want to go into business in October, so you have to pay attention to those. Let's see what else. I want to encourage you guys to not hit cruise control on your goals. Now, I don't care, forget what I just said, because I don't care if you're retail or service oriented. That has nothing to do with your goals. So if your goal is to make that $200 a day to make $50,000 a year, you got to keep making that goal. So for some of you, the goal is going to get easier because you're going to make more money, in December. In fact, a lot of these companies make a big lion's share of their money in December, and then they spread it out over the year. Well, if you're trying to hit your goals, you might have to work that much harder to keep your goals going, okay? Now, I'm going to encourage you guys, just because the CEO and all these people don't want to meet and all that kind of stuff, that means you got to hustle that much harder and do that much more work to get that done. Now, some of you are like, well, Matthew, you don't have a spouse, you don't have kids, you don't know what it's like for December. We're running. You're right, I don't. So, what I'll tell you, though, is that just means you have that many more challenges than I do. So if you have a family and kids and all those kind of things that you need to take care of, just make sure that you are scheduling time to focus on your goals. That means, and I know this sounds crass to some of you guys, but I mean, when you go and sit on the toilet for 20 minutes, don't play some game. Learn something. Watch a YouTube video where you're educating yourself. Go to a continuing education course. Whatever, right? Keep those things going so that you can be learning. When you're doing your exercise and you're walking around the park, you're doing your whatever, have a voice in your ears that's teaching you something, whether it's my voice or somebody else's, right? Buy audiobooks. Be learning something. Consume good things. It is no different than this fitness deal I've been on, trying to lose weight, and be healthier. It matters what you put in, right? So that is true no matter if it's in your brain or in your mouth, right? So you guys need to pay special attention to those things, and it's going to be some work for you, okay? And all I can do is encourage you guys. I can tell you that. Let me tell you this. Every time I read that story about the rabbit and the turtle, that turtle wins the race. Because the rabbit is running, and then the rabbit's like, oh, well, I'm so far ahead, I'm just going to take a nap. I'm going to hit cruise control in this fourth quarter. And you see this in sports. That somebody gets 3 or 4 touchdowns real fast or is winning, and they let off the gas, right? You got to finish strong. You have to finish strong, okay? So that turtle is relentless. It keeps going, right? And that's what you need to be, is a relentless competitor with yourself. I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you right now. You need to be a relentless competitor against you. You need to get your personal best. You need to be better today than you were yesterday, right? And if you're not growing and striving and clawing and doing whatever you can to reach that next goal, you're not going to hit it, right? I saw a meme the other day that I really liked, and it says, no one ever gets dropped on top of mountains. And it just was meaning that if you see a man on top of a mountain, he had to climb the mountain to get there, right? So it's amazing testament to, people say, well, why do we go to the moon? Why are we going to Mars? Why do we climb that mountain? Why do we go to the depths of the sea? Because we're challenging ourselves to go further and faster, and right? That's the goal, is you want to be better today than you were yesterday, okay? So I want to encourage you guys. This may be one of the shorter videos. I get kind of long-winded. But I just wanted to encourage you guys today on starting this fourth quarter. I want you to go in with the same excitement that you went in to begin with, right? And you need to be working and have set goals, and do not hit cruise control as October, November, and December come in. Just because it's Christmas time, just because it's Thanksgiving time, I'm not saying at all don't spend time with your family. You obviously should. That's very important. But the only person that's going to hit your goals is you. And I guarantee you that if you will work now, if you can just do a season where you really put in the effort now and build that foundation, it's going to make every year to follow that much easier, right? And you're not building just a foundation for you. You are building that foundation for your family. If you really devoted yourself for 5 or 6 years, maybe even 10 years, and you could hit cruise control for the rest of your life. I mean, guys, is that not worth that? Right? I encourage you guys to do these things. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, Facebook, Instagram. I'm all over the place, so you guys can find me. And also, if you are watching this and you have not joined our private investors group, guys, not only do I go live and share from my business experience of 25 years, I've had multiple businesses, been a financial advisor, an insurance broker, continuing education provider, just a myriad of things. Been a successful investor. I live full-time now off of my investments, so that's pretty good. You know, a lot of these gurus, you know, not that I'm a guru, but a lot of these guys talk a good game, and they say, oh, well, I have rental properties, but they have some other full-time gig. Investing is my full-time gig, so I want to, you know, if that's the kind of life you want to live, where you are your own boss, and you get to control your destiny and what you do, please, I encourage you to either talk to me about a mentorship with a one-on-one training with me, or joining our group of young business people. We have a lot of people that have been in business for themselves that are trying to learn how to create passive income streams and make more money with less work. There's also people in our group that are just getting started, that are trying to figure out how to let go of that corporate job so that they can focus on themselves. And there's other people that are trying to spend more time with their family by owning a small business where they can spend devoted time with their kids and yet make a good living at the same time. All those things are possible. Not only am I speaking, we have other speakers on the way in the group. And so I encourage you to do that. You can go to MorrowInvest.com, sign up for $1. And, of course, as a reminder to our members, if you guys will get people to sign up, I'll give you half of the first month's fee for them signing up. So $15 a person for each person you get to sign up. So, guys, let me know if you need anything. I hope you guys have an awesome week. Enjoy the fourth quarter. I hope you knock it out of the park. I'll check with you back in January. Have a good day.